Ready? All right. Welcome to the first episode of the Point of View podcast. My name is Cameron, and I'll let you introduce yourself.
My name is Lin Mei,
Oh, where are you from?
as in like my ethnicity.
Yeah, we can start there.
My mother is a half English, half Pakistani, but she was born in Pakistan. And my dad is Panamanian and Bayesian, but he was born in Barbados. And I was
Okay.
born in Barbados.
Okay. Where do you live?
I live just outside of London. I literally just moved. So it's about 15, 20 minutes to drive to London.
Okay. Okay. You like it there?
Yeah, I like it. It's a bit more quiet. I used to live in a very like a busy part of London, so it's a bit more quiet. But it's very easy for me to get into London.
Well, I was born in Virginia. Born and raised in Virginia. I was born in Lynchburg, Virginia. I moved from there when I was 2. I moved to Newport News, which is it's not one of the best areas. I believe I don't know. You have to check my stats, but in 2016, I think it was like the 11th worst country in the U. I mean the 11th worst state. No, city. There we go. In the U.S. Like it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
Oh, where you've moved to, where you live now?
Hmm.
Oh, so why did you move there?
Um, my father got a really good business opportunity. He's into construction, and pretty much he got a job offer to become his own plant manager for concrete.
Hmm.
So we had a better job opportunity for the family. So we decided to go out there.
But you said you live with your brother now, or you live with your mum and
Yes.
grandmother.
So now I'm in Wisconsin. I am in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and I love it up here. It's beautiful. You know,
Oh, and so where are your parents now? Still there?
still in Virginia, still in Newport News.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is your brother older brother or younger brother?
Older, older. He's 31.
Oh, okay, cool. And what do? You work for Amazon?
Yes, I work for Amazon. I am an Amazon sorter slash fulfillment center, killing the 9 to 5 game.
Don't knock it. I like 9 to 5s.
See, it's I like it, but it's like okay, I can only go but so far. Like I want to get to a point where I can do my own business and kind of make my own moves, my own schedule, and kind of make things work for me.
I hear that. So, like, what sort of business do you want to open?
Mm, really anything. I'm really into pretty much anything. My brother has his own trucking company. I make music. I love anything to do with music. I'm learning to play electric guitar, ukulele. I'm pretty much into anything. Yeah, cars. I love cars. Pretty much anything that makes decent money. I just got certified in maintenance, all things maintenance, plumbing, electrical, HVAC. I'm HVAC certified. Pretty much all things to do with maintenance. So, like I said, I'm into everything.
Oh, cool. So, what is it about like British culture you want to know about, or that fascinates you?
Yes. So, first thing I wanted to look at was like as far as food and like health. Like I know most countries look at America as like the most unhealthiest country like to exist. Like pretty sure they just imagine a guy eating a cheeseburger while sitting on his sofa when they think of the US. But I
Are
wanted
you
to know
are
like
you saying
how is
that's
it over there?
untrue?
Hmm.
Are you saying that's untrue?
Um it's pretty much on the head. Like I can't even lie. It's like about 85% true. Like our food portions are huge compared to all other countries. Like is really bad.
I think the food is just reflective of America in general. Everything is huge there. Like you guys, cars, you guys, everything is like the fridge. I remember when I went there and I saw a fridge, and I was just like, or you guys call it a refrigerator, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we call it fridges. So I remember like looking at the fridge, and I was just like, why do you have to have such a big fridge? No wonder there's like loads of overweight people in America because it's just huge. And then when you have a huge fridge, what do? You usually stack it up, right?
Yeah, and especially like fast food restaurants, like I'm getting spoiled. I go to Popeyes to get a sandwich and I'm like, why is it this size? Why isn't it bigger? And then I look and see other countries with even smaller portions. I'm like, oh no. Oh no. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to survive. Like I'm so accustomed to huge foods. Like go to McDonald's, get a large fry. That's pretty much most countries' entire day.
Yeah, do you know what it is as well? I think it's not just about the portions. It's we've got a huge drive here in the UK at the moment where the government is actually going to get involved in actively trying to get people to lose weight, whether that's give them Fitbits, whether that's because obesity is a huge problem. It was released recently that obesity has taken over in terms of deaths, people that die from smoking.
Wow.
So I know when I went to America, the food alone tastes saturated with salt, oil, and sugar. Like if a McDonald's milkshake in America tastes completely different to the ones here in terms of like the sugar or the fizzy drinks and stuff. So they're quite strict here with they introduced this thing called sugar tax. Yeah. So if companies like in the food industry still want to put the same amount of sugar in their food and drinks, they will have to increase they will have to pay more tax, which will increase the price of the drink.
Oh wow.
So now, like even when I was out with my friend, she was tasting a drink. She was like, it tastes so different since the sugar tax because the company has reduced the amount of sugar. So already that's benefiting loads of us out here because the government is literally trying to assist us with our health. Because I don't know if humans overall would naturally just look after themselves. Do you see what I mean? We should take the
Right,
initiative.
right.
It
Yeah,
shouldn't take
it's
the
more
government, right?
driven by something else more than money.
Yeah, it shouldn't take the government, but then at the same time, a lot of people that are struggling and with finances, the cheaper foods are the unhealthy foods.
Yes. Yes, I can go to McDonald's and get a burger for 99 cents, but if I go to the store and try and get fruit, that's $4 or $5.
Exactly, exactly. So it's not just that, it takes time. It takes time to prepare like a balanced vegetables, good meat, good carbohydrates. So I think that's the issue. But yeah, it's very different. Like in terms of if we're going to talk about diets and foods and stuff. And do you know what else I noticed when I went to Florida? And the seats are huge. And I was like, why is the seat so big? And then at breakfast one day when I went to Disneyland, I looked around and I was like, these are why the seats are so
Yeah,
huge because
exactly.
people's backsides were like spread.
Yes, yes, yes. It's pretty crazy out here. But
I mean,
another question.
I'm not trying to trash America. I know there
Oh
are
no, because
some healthy people out there as well. But I did
that's what I was about
notice,
to say. There's the ratio is it's a big margin of variety. I mean, you got so many unhealthy people, but there are still some healthy people. I don't know how they do it. I try to be healthy, but not really. It only works but so much.
no. And I guess because you and your brother live together, do either of you cook any healthy meals?
I have a stir fry that I cook that's all vegetables, broccoli, cauliflower. Um, I pretty much throw anything I can in there, carrots, and
Yeah.
I put it in a nice teriyaki sauce. And sometimes
Oh,
if I'm feeling like cheating, I throw some grilled chicken in there. But most of the time, I just eat it like that. Oh, chickpeas. I love chickpeas. Throw chickpeas.
oh, okay, cool. And then so what other healthy meals does your brother cook as well?
He cooks more of the meats like steak, chicken, pretty
Yeah.
much
Are you
anything.
trying to do vegetarian?
I want to. I want to. Last time I did it, I really think I was about to die. Cause like I got weak. I couldn't see nothing. I was like, no. I went in.
No, you've got to do it in stages. You've got to do fish first, like cut out the red meat first, do
Mhm.
that for a couple of months, cut out the chicken, do that for a couple of months, cut out, then just have fish, and then slowly, do you know what I mean?
So
I
it's
was a
it's like
I was a
it's
vegan for
actually phases. I did not know that. I just started eating salads.
no, that's not no, you can't do that. I was a vegan for a very long time. I
Mhm.
was raised a vegan.
Really?
Yeah, so no animal products.
Oh yeah. Another thing, I saw your dad was a bodybuilder. Like that just made my day. That made me so happy. Like just seeing him, he's a big guy too. Like he looked like he could pick me up and just throw me. I'm like,
Yeah, he was very strong during his career, but it's done a lot of damage to his body now.
really?
Yeah, because your bodybuilding essentially is lifting up unnaturally heavy weights.
True.
The body is not supposed to lift certain amounts of weights, and the
Yeah.
supplements that they're taking and things they're taking that allows them to lift those weights in their natural form, they wouldn't be able to do it. Most people.
Yeah, that's true. Especially that's pretty much with really any sport. You're training your body to do something that it's really not made for.
Exactly, and that's why sometimes even like you would think footballers are healthy, but the intensity of an athlete, the required intensity, sometimes the heart just says no.
Yeah, it's like I can't do it. But I have a question.
Yep.
Is Nando's as good as everybody makes it seem? Because I have one an hour and a half from here that I'm willing to drive to try.
Nah, it depends what you're into. So I guess if you really like Kentucky Fried Chicken, or you like Popeyes, or you like that sort of greasy, deep fried, then it's not going to be for you.
Right.
But the sauces are really good. I always go for hot or extra hot.
Okay. Okay. Spicy.
Yeah. And the chicken is not it's not really that dry because I think that they broil it first,
Okay.
or they poach it and then they put it on the grill. So it's quite succulent, compared to if you just go to a normal diner and just get roast chicken.
Yeah, because I can't count on my hands and toes how many times I've been to any restaurant and the chicken is just so dry. I'm like, nope, I'm just going home. This,
Oh my god, I hardly ever order chicken when I go to a restaurant because I just don't trust them. I don't trust how they season it. I don't
yeah,
trust if it's going to be dry. I always go for either fish or red meat because I know with red meat you can't get it wrong because you don't even have to season it that much. Do you know what I mean?
right.
But yeah, I think, put it this way, I'd be interested to see what Nando's tastes like in America. I didn't even know they had it. When did they? Is it new?
So I just Googled it. Like they have them pretty much all over the US. I didn't even think they would have it this far. They have some in Virginia, which is like it's very rare. Like Virginia really doesn't get much of anything at all. Like the way Virginia is set up, there's 7 cities that pretty much equal one big city, like I guess like a New York or something like that.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you
You
don't ever really
just
get anything.
one day you should just take the trip just to see and let me know.
I'm gonna have to do that. I'll let you know how it tastes.
Yeah, let me know.
I hope it's good. Like I said, it's been hyped up so many times. I just have
If
to.
it doesn't taste good, I'm gonna say that's American Nando's. That's not British Nando.
Yeah, I have to. I have to come over to the UK one time and at least try it just to compare it.
Yeah. I bet you'd like to try loads of things when you come here.
Yes, yes. I have a lot of different places and foods I want to try. What are some good places and foods that you like out there?
Um, I don't know. Like I quite like nice restaurants. I don't really do the fast. Like I suppose also in my area, there's a lot of Turkish people, and Turkish food is good because it's healthy, it's
Really?
quick, and you are given so much for such a small amount of money. So let's say you can. It's probably a bit more now, but you can get between you can pay between £20 and £25. Yeah, and you can get a whole platter. Like,
Really?
so a platter would have like maybe 6 wings. It will have like a shish kebab. It will have like lamb. It will have doner kebab on there. It will have rice. It will have couscous. It will have chips. It will have salad. It will have bread. And this is to share between like 4 people. And that's for £25.
Wow. Like, yeah, you're not getting that much here. Definitely not.
Yeah, Turkish food is like if you're from North London, so like Wood Green, Tottenham, then yeah, we all know to get Turkish food. So I quite like Turkish food, but I the thing is I find here is there's so much variety. So I love Nigerian food as well.
Really?
Yeah, you can get good Nigerian food out here.
What's your favorite Nigerian meal?
Pounded yam. Do you know what those things are?
Never heard of it. Wow, that's different.
And
That's different.
I think it's crazy that you've never heard of it because it's not crazy because like hundreds of years have passed, right?
Hmm.
But from when Africans came over to America, I guess they lost their identity, right? Like the foods,
Yeah.
they lost a lot of things. And there's maybe bits of the culture like grits or, you know, bits of the culture that has been left.
Right.
But I would always, if I was African American, I would always want to know what is the food in West Africa where we originated from. Does that make sense?
Right. It's
And when I
interesting.
speak to African Americans, I don't feel that they have any, as a
Any
whole, they
will,
don't
any
have any,
drive to find out that kind of stuff.
pardon?
There's no will or like drive, especially in my culture, to find out like, oh, what food were we eating before we came here? What was things that we did? Like heritage is not really a big thing. Like I know some people that were curious and found out very interesting things about their past and their history, but most people don't really care. Like they just, oh, okay, and just go on about their lives. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
like
black.
I said, we Caribbean people
Hmm.
and African people, we've got a really strong sense of identity. We love our culture. We
Right.
love like our ethnic music, our ethnic foods. Like it's a big thing for us. And I feel with African Americans, maybe the southern states,
Hmm.
um, like what is the southern states food? Is that cornbread, grits, all that sort
Yes. Yes.
of,
That's
like the gumbo stuff and all that?
mhm.
Okay, so apart from that, but let's say if you're African American living in Chicago or living in New York, what is your ethnic food?
Not really. I mean, Chicago, you got Chicago deep dish pizza, of course. So that's
Yeah,
a
but
big,
that's Italian.
right. That's what I was saying. That's about as good as it gets.
Yeah, and I've that's what I find like I don't want to say sad, but I find it puzzling that
Right.
African Americans don't really want to search for their ethnic connection of heritage or culture.
Yeah, they just,
You see what
I
I
mean,
mean? Whereas
not
we
not
are,
really ignore it, but just don't really pay attention to it as much as other cultures do. Like I have a friend that found out he was Irish, and he went to Ireland and he tried to find if he could find any of his family, and I'm like, wow, that's something that never even like crossed most of my friends' mind or even mine. I mean, I never really thought about looking into it and finding out really where I came from. And
yeah, I guess there's a bit of a disconnect, but yeah, and that's why here, even if, that's what I love about London, even though I don't know if you've heard that I don't really like the term black as much anymore
mhm,
because of what it means, but if we just use it for this like discussion,
right.
you can be black here in London. So you could be from St. Lucia, you could be from Jamaica, you could be from Nigeria, you could be from Kenya. And we all like to share each other's culture, like the majority of us. So we will all listen to Afro beats, we will all listen to like bashment reggae, we'll all try different foods. Like you even have restaurants here now that are Caribbean and African. So you can get, so a Caribbean dish would be like rice and peas and curry goat or stew chicken, but you can also get jollof rice. Have you ever heard of jollof rice?
No, but it sounds good. It sounds really good. All this food just makes me like, oh, I gotta go now. Like I have to get on a plane.
Yeah, like jollof rice is West African. I think there's some parts of like Central Africa that has their version of jollof rice, but I know jollof rice to be mainly from like Ghana, um, Sierra Leone, and Nigeria. And it's like a tomato spicy rice, but it's
Mhm.
so good. Like it's, I can eat it by itself. It doesn't need any stew, any chicken, any nothing.
Do you travel a
I,
lot?
I travel a lot, yeah, but even
I
if I
could tell.
didn't, no, but even if I didn't, you would know all this here being in London. That's what I mean. Like we are so cultured here in London. Do you see what I mean?
Right. Like it's like a central. It has multiple cultures and more than just one. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, like and then I guess when I went to New York, that's what I felt was missing. Like there was a Trinidadian place in New York that had like Trini food. There was, I know
Wow.
there was Jamaican spots. There are probably Nigerian spots in New York, but I didn't get that obvious sense of like culture in my face that you would get if you went to Brixton here, or if you went to Tottenham High Road, or if you went to like Peckham. Like the culture is in your face. If you
Right.
go to the areas I just mentioned, you it feels very ethnic, if that makes sense, from
Right.
the culture, the foods,
Right.
the interactions, the
Ethnically
language.
diverse.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's, you don't have to, going back to what you said, I am well traveled, but you don't have to be well traveled to understand. We all mix and blend.
Right.
And that's why
That's
like
really
you,
cool. We have the only areas that are like that I could think of New York. It's one place in Atlanta that was just so mixed. Like we have like a whole area of just businesses and restaurants that are Korean. And then if you go across the street, you have regular McDonald's and all the regular American places. But then if you go further down the street, you may have some Jamaican or really anything Italian, but it's not real Italian though. It's like Americans' version of Italian. I feel like that's what a lot of other cultures, when they get here, what they feel like they have to do, instead of making what they make back at home, they just kind of Americanize it and just,
mhm.
yeah.
They do that here too. Like a lot of Indian restaurants do that. They made certain dishes to for the taste buds of the Europeans, so they could like monetize it. So
Yeah.
I get it. I understand it for business purposes. Like, why not?
I mean, yeah, but I want to try something authentic. I mean, I guess if you really want the authentic, you have to get on that plane and just go try it.
Yeah, it's true. You've got to try and find now. That's your homework part two. We're gonna stack up your homework, right? So
All
the
right,
first
I'm gonna have to write this stuff down.
you have to write this down. The first homework is Nando's. You got to try
I
Nando's.
gotta try Nando's.
The second one is try and find Nigerian cuisine. So I didn't even get to answer. My favorite Nigerian dish is something called pounded yam. The closest thing, and if any Nigerians watch this, I'm very sorry to liken it to this, but the closest thing I can think of that is worldwide known would be mashed potato. It's like a sort of, you know what yam is, right?
Right, yeah.
So what they do is they pound it until it becomes really smooth, and then you can have it with stews. So I like it with something called okra soup. Do you know what okra is?
Yes, my
You
grandfather
like
loves
okra?
that. I've tried it. It's okay. It all depends on how it's made. If the right person makes it, it's pretty good.
Yeah, so this it's a soup and it's quite slimy, but it tastes so good with the pounded yam. So your part two homework is to find a Nigerian restaurant.
All right, and try what's it called again?
Pounded yam.
Pounded yam. I'm gonna try
And you
that.
know, okay, to ease yourself in, just
Mm,
try jollof rice.
rice. How do you say it?
Jollof.
Jollof rice.
Yeah.
It sounds good. Like you said, all this food is making me hungry. Like, I'm gonna have to try it right after this. But okay, next I want to talk about music. What is the music scene like out there? Like, oof, I've been waiting to get into this.
What is it like? Okay, so the music scene out here, we've got a huge music scene at the moment that is flourishing. Before, a while ago, it was really hard as an artist of, let's say, Black origin to do
Hmm.
well, just because there was loads of barriers.
Right.
And I think there was a lot of perceived notions or misconceptions that everything was violent about the music. So
Yeah.
when we tried to adopt a lot of things that were similar to that of America,
Mhm.
we tried to do like, you know, UK rap, then we did grime, and a lot of the grime sounded too mainstream, like it was quite violent. So it was very hard to put on events, it was very hard to have concerts, it wasn't readily accepted. So then what you'd find is a lot of underground events happening, a lot of pirate radio stations. There's a movie coming out and it's based on pirate radio. I don't know if you'll be able to get it in the States, but you should be able to stream it somewhere.
Mhm.
And I remember I used to always go to pirate radio and just like spit on the mic. We'd call it spitting on the mic, which is
Uh-huh.
just like essentially rapping. And the best people to listen to for doing that would be like JME, Skepta,
Yes,
Gets,
I
those,
love JME.
yeah, and those the first people that like who were a part of that, Roll Deep, um, Pay As You Go, and then So Solid were the
Mhm.
first group to like make it mainstream. Have you heard of So Solid?
Never heard of So Solid. Only person that you said I know is JME
Okay,
and
so
Skepta and Skepta. I know Skepta.
and they're brothers.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so So Solid basically were the pioneers. They opened the door for lots of people today. And they got a lot of bad press as well because they were trying to do the whole like the image of like gangster, pimp daddy, all that sort of stuff. And they
Yeah,
had TTs and the girls, and but they still managed to break like Oxide and Neutrino. They were a part of So Solid, but they were kind of separate.
right.
And they were the ones that I guess kicked down the door and allowed like almost grime slash garage to become mainstream. And then as time progressed, we had like a lot of UK R&B, but I still think real R&B artists here and
Hmm.
soul artists felt like they had to water down their music to become mainstream, like
Uh,
like poppy, do you know what I mean?
right.
But fast forward to today, no one really has to do that. Like it's
Yes, they can
flourishing.
just be themselves. Yeah.
And we have done recently, I was talking about this today, that it's kind of ending, but there was a big scene here for like Afro swing, Afro trap, Afro beats.
Hmm.
And have you listened to any Afro beats?
I have. I like to listen to it around the house, like when I'm cleaning. Like I have
What's
different
the
playlists
music?
for different things, but it's really good to listen to like when you're around the house, just cleaning and trying to have a
So
little
do
fun.
you know? Do you know Wizkid?
Yes. Oh my god, I love this kid. Yes.
That's Afro beat. So Wizkid, Burna Boy. Do you know Burna Boy?
I've heard of him. I think I've heard a couple songs from him.
Yeah, if you hear it, you'll know that it's him. But then we have our own like version of Afro beats here with artists, and I guess it's more like Afro swing or Afro trap, where
Hmm.
we had like Notes. Have you heard of Notes? And
Mm-mm.
Kojo Funds, J Hus. Have you heard of J Hus?
Nope.
You gotta write these people down.
I
These if
do.
you like UK music. These are like people that you would, especially like J Hus. They're really really good. And then it created this whole scene. Um, and then on the other side, those that sort of genre is more for like party, feel good,
Right.
like girls love it. But then you have like drill.
Oh yes.
And again, remember I said a lot of the culture we tried to take from you guys. We
Hmm.
got that from Chicago. Like that wasn't our stuff.
Really, I've heard the opposite. I've heard that I don't know if Chicago got, but I know definitely New York. New York definitely took inspiration from UK drill. That's what I heard.
Yeah, I think now, like I guess one of the most popular flows would be like Heady One. And a lot of people are saying that, American artists are trying to emulate that sort of similar flow.
Yeah, I love
Um,
Heady One.
like Drake
Yeah.
did
Oh yeah.
a song with Heady One and he tried to do that flow in it. I'm sorry, it didn't sound good.
He didn't. He tried. He tried to make it work. It didn't work at
Oh, did
all.
you watch that video with him
Yes,
in
I
it?
did. Oh yes.
Yeah, yeah, he was. It was not working out for him.
He did another one. He tried to do a grime freestyle. Like he was in a booth and it was just so left field. And I was like, why is he doing this? He's trying to make it work. It's not really working. And it's like, yeah, it's not really him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, and then now, I guess the music scene is pushed forward by our very own pages as well, which is really good for the culture. So
Right.
you guys have Shade Room, we have Shade Borough, we have UK
Yeah.
Gossip. Do you follow those?
Yeah, I follow Shay Barra.
Okay, do you follow Made You Think?
I do not.
Okay, you got to follow Made You Think too. So those are like our sort of blog pages that keep the scene kind of pushed out there as well in terms of for the culture.
Hmm.
So it's a good time like musically for people now. I just wish there'd be a bit more balance in
Yes.
like the positive output, just because we're always complaining about, oh, black people are not respected, but we don't put out enough respectable shit. So but yeah, apart from that, it's we like I said, we just had the Mobos
Hmm.
is music of Black origin, and that award ceremony was really good
Yeah,
yesterday.
did
So
you like it? How did it go?
yeah, it was good. Did you stream it? Did you watch it live
I
stream?
didn't. I watched some clips on YouTube, but I couldn't find the live stream.
Oh, okay. No, it was really good. I enjoyed it.
That's good. But you got invited. I think you had like one of the first front seats. You had your own private table. You were just living it up.
Yeah, yeah. That was definitely down to Z because my friend Z, she got nominated.
Ah, okay.
Best personality of the year.
She went.
No, 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 she didn't win, but she got nominated. I tell you
Ah,
who won. Chunks and Philly won. Do you know who that is?
yes. Oh
Chunks?
my God, I love Chunks and Philly.
Do you like them?
Yes, I love Chunks and Philly. They're like so funny. Like, oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
yeah, yeah. They won.
they won. That's very interesting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
KSI wasn't there.
No.
I thought that might,
Do you
maybe.
like KSI?
I do. I do.
You like his music?
Mm, I do. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Like his last album was really good. For me, his last album probably maybe one of my top 3 rap albums of the year. That's a big statement. I know, but I really like it. I think
From a gamer, yeah. From a gamer. Wow.
yeah. He definitely is doing his thing. But a lot of my favorite artists, I have Annie, Georgia Smith, of course. I said Malia already. Joy Crooks. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't know who that is.
She's a singer. I think she did a song with Georgia Smith that I really like.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Do you like Shabo? Georgia Smith and
oh my
Shabo?
gosh, I love Shabo. Yeah,
Oh,
that
do you like
song is like
Shabo?
that's my favorite song of this year. I think I can say that.
Yeah?
Yes, I really like that song.
The one in the church.
They were in the church.
There's a video of them in the church. I can't remember which one it's called, but I quite like that one.
I thought they were in like a car shop and they were working on cars.
We might have two songs together actually. Check it out.
They have 2 songs. I thought it was just the one.
Check it out. I think it's two.
Oh, wow. Yeah, they sound really well together. Emma Lou, she's
Okay.
also from the UK. Lola Young,
Mhm.
uh, Kate, Little Sims is probably one of my favorites too. I love Little Sims.
She's doing
Like
so well.
she's very authentically herself. She's very proud of who she is. She's very happy to be African, to be Black, to be just her. I watched her Tiny Desk. She has this one African song. I can't remember. Point and Kill. Point and Kill. That's one of my favorite songs too this year. She's really good when it comes to music. But yeah, I listen to a variety of music. I listen to a lot of UK artists, a lot of Korean artists, a lot of American artists. I try to get into some German. I try to be very diverse when it comes. I try to
Oh,
be diverse in pretty much all cultures, not even just music, as far as foods and pretty much all things.
that's cool.
Yeah, but the music scene over here is everybody knows it's pretty much just Drake, Adele. Like, yeah, I mean that's pretty much self-explanatory. You
how
have
do how does your friend group feel about Kanye West?
hmm, everybody looks at him like he's crazy, like just out of his mind, like very much. Wow, can't believe he just said that. But if you really take time to look at certain things he says, it's just very interesting to see how his mind works. It's like,
How does everyone feel about the Travis Scott situation?
so people are really blaming Travis like really hard. Like they're really giving it to him, which my personal opinion, that's just my personal opinion. People another thing is people are really hiding. There's a video that I have, it's all over Instagram, but people are really trying to hide it. That he actually did stop the show and pretty much direct paramedics over to them. So I don't know like why people are acting like that didn't happen. So I don't know. But everybody else is like trying to cancel him, get him out of there. Like he don't need to be here no more. And he hasn't left the house and like since it happened. He's with
Who, Travis Scott?
yeah, he hasn't left his house at all.
Where did you see that in the news?
Yeah, it's all over the news. He's just been locked in his house, hasn't left.
I wonder what Kylie and like the Kardashians are gonna do about it.
I don't know. They may have posted a picture a couple of days of him with her. You know, she's pregnant. She's showing off the baby bump. But yeah, that's about it. Yeah, he's
We'll
not
see
leaving
the
the house.
we'll see the true power of the Kardashians.
Yeah,
In
they'll be able to bring him back. They'll revive him real quick. They'll give him that Kardashian stimulus.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Another thing is dating norms. So I watched one of your episodes on Trigger, and another thing you were talking about is like basically people be too scared to talk to people rather than talk to people like face to face. It's like, oh, I gotta go find her Instagram or like find her Twitter, find her TikTok. Who is I'm sorry, if you're looking for girls on TikTok, something's wrong. Something's wrong. If you're like, no, let
But
me
do
go
you not
find this
think
girl
you
on
can
TikTok.
meet some? Do you not think you can meet anyone anywhere?
I think you can, like face to face. Oh yeah. But I don't know. Instagram and social media sites, it's just kind of different. It's like, so okay, this I just saw Ed Sheeran, I believe it was Ed Sheeran, a video of Ed Sheeran interview where he was talking about how people only post Instagram pictures and pretty much all social media is just the best parts of their life.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm looking for a person and all I'm seeing is the best parts of their life, I mean, the only place you can go is down. It's only going to get worse.
True.
Your
It's a false
expectations are only going to get
representation.
lower.
It's hard to get to know someone by what you see on social media when that is only half the story and even less than half.
Right.
But
Right.
then, would you not say the same applies when you meet someone? They're only going to show you the best parts in the first 3 months anyway.
That's true. You never get the real person even in person. It's like, I don't know, you have to be able to be good when it comes to like social cues because some things can give it all. Like some things you can tell if a guy or a girl is a little off by certain things that they say or do. They might slip up and you might get a little glimpse of the real them. When it comes to like typing, they can just erase, oh no, that don't sound right, and then make it sound better.
And that's why I don't like this new culture of just WhatsApping or
Yeah,
just typing. I like to hear in real time what your true feelings are, the
right.
organic answers. You don't have time to go and confer and speak to your friend, like, what do you think? What shall I say back? Or, like you said, like, and then you lose
Heat of the
the
moment.
the organic, yet in the moment sort of tonality as well, and the passion or lack of passion in the voice.
Right,
So, but that's the world that we live in right now, right? But
right.
what were
Yeah.
you saying? What were you saying that I said in like triggered?
I'm sorry, what were you saying?
What were you saying? I was saying in triggered about dating norms. Oh, that people don't come up to people.
Yeah, that people kind of just shy away from face-to-face conversation. Like love at first sight is not really a thing. It's like love at first scroll or first Instagram post or Insta story.
Yeah, and I think I said something along the lines of I don't have loads of respect for a guy who just looks that would look at me
Yeah,
and then slide in my DMs, because why didn't you have, unless it was a really awkward situation and I
yeah,
understand that. But if you were just there, just like some weirdo just looking at me, and then you slid in my DM, oh, I was the guy just staring at you. But
yeah,
you should have had
I was
you should
five
have had the
five
balls.
blocks down with my binoculars. That was me. Like
Yeah,
yeah,
you exactly have the be a man, like have the balls to come up to go up to a woman and say hi, like how you doing, have that normal conversation, because there's gonna come a time when no one's gonna have social skills. It's just gonna
yeah,
be typing.
yeah. Especially with the pandemic, like being at home for so long, like completely ruined my social skills. Like I had
Really?
to relearn 100%, 100%, 100%.
Oh
Like
wow.
it was terrible trying to get back talking to people, figuring out conversations. Like that was that was very difficult.
I know, because what do you talk about? Because even during the pandemic, it's like, how are you? I'm fine. What are you up to? What I was up to yesterday and the day before, just sitting on my sofa.
Exactly. And all those conversations were over the phone. Hey man, where you at? Oh, home. Oh yeah, I forgot. All right, you still alive? Yep, still alive. All right, talk to you later. Like that's the entire conversation, and do that every day.
Do you have like a lot of friends?
I have a small group,
Yeah.
about 3 or 4.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
I try to be reserved and kind of just stay to myself.
why.
I don't know. I feel like more people equals more problems.
True.
That's what it boils down to. When I had more friends, it was like, I don't know, not good. It just ended up badly. Like you always find out somebody's talking about you here, somebody has something to say there, someone's talking behind your back, somebody stabbing you in your back. It's always when you have a small. Much rather have a small group of true friends than a large group of unloyal ones.
Mm. No, that's true. I get that.
Loyalty is a big thing for me. Like, yeah, I love having people that are loyal and honest. Like honesty too. I don't care if it's good, bad, or ugly. I'd rather have the truth than have you sitting there pretending like everything's peachy and everything's perfect. I'd rather have the terrible, honest truth.
Yeah, that's good. I agree.
What are your thoughts on it? Like, do you have a big group of friends?
I used to, and it was a nightmare. I'm going to be honest about it. I used to be the center, as in the person who books the motives, that books the holidays, that, and
That's
like you
me.
said, it just got like the biggest issue I had with a large circle of friends in terms of girls was I would have no issues bringing one girl and introducing her to my other friend and introducing to my other friend and so on and so forth. And then when you have an issue with one of those friends, they create this friendship group away from you to try and gang up on you. And I was finding that was happening a lot. And I just thought, I like to keep my friends separate now. Like all my friends go,
Yep.
unless you desperately need to contact one of my friends for something because you're arranging something for me or whatever, you can have each other's number. But all of this cross contamination of friendships, it just
Mm.
never works
It's,
because
it's it's like politics.
people forget their loyalty. They forget who they need to be loyal to,
Yeah.
who actually put you on to that friend in the first
Hmm.
place.
How did you get here? How did you get to where you were? Right.
Exactly. So now I just have literally my everydays are just two friends, like Z and my other friend Sinead. And those are like my everyday. Then I've got a couple of guy friends I don't speak to every day, but they're there if I need them, and then that's it.
Yeah. My friends are Jaden. I got John, and I got Krishan. That's about it.
Krishan is such an American name.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Krishan is definitely an American name. You hit that right on the head. I've never heard that name anywhere else in the entire US. I mean, in the entire world.
Krishan.
Really, the US. I'm gonna be honest. He's the only person I know with that name.
Have you left the US before?
One time,
Where did you go?
Mexico.
Okay, anywhere else? Just Mexico?
Mexico.
Why did you go to Mexico?
My parents went, so I went with them.
Oh, have they traveled away from Mexico and the US?
Nope, that's it. My brother does all the traveling. He's been to Sri Lanka. He's been to I don't even know. He's been all over. He's
How
been to
come?
Cabo.
How come?
He just loves vacationing. He loves his
What does he do? What does he do for a living?
truck. He drives. He's a truck driver.
Mm.
He's self-employed truck driver.
Oh, okay. Does he like it?
Loves it. Loves it.
We're having massive issues with truck drivers here in Europe.
Really?
Yeah, there's a shortage. There was a shortage, and that's why there was petrol hike prices.
Okay, I
Uh,
saw that. Oh my goodness, I was laughing so much. I saw
there
this video of this guy drive by. It was like it was the petrol queue, and he was like, "Oh, y'all need gas?" He said, "I got a full tank," and then just drove by.
so
Yeah.
bad. It was a nightmare. Like even getting food to the shelves of the supermarkets was becoming difficult. And then also like loads of truck drivers just don't want to be truck drivers anymore because loads of them left because we Brexited and we left the European Union. So we've had some shortages of truck drivers out here.
Wow. There was a gas shortage here as well. There was I believe it was I can't remember, it was this year. I do know for a fact it was this year, but it was so bad. Like people, it was just like that. It was cars lined up everywhere, just trying to get gas, and they were like, "No, we don't have any."
Oh no.
I was happy right by my house, like literally 2 minutes down the street. there was a gas station. It never ran out. Never.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we've had this issue a couple of times now.
Really? This has happened more than once?
Not as bad, but yeah, I remember there being like a shortage. Hmm.
This, especially for us, this is the first time I've ever seen it happen. Maybe when I was younger, but definitely not to this scale.
Yeah. We had it pretty bad.
Okay. Now this is something I really want to understand. I don't get it at all. Please help me understand. What in the world is a TV license?
How did you hear about it?
I think it was on Instagram. Somebody had a post that was like, I have to reapply for my TV license or something like that. And I'm like, what is that? And then I started doing research and I was like so confused. Like, wait, you have to have a TV license? Like, do I have to have a license to buy a TV, license to buy cable? I'm so confused.
No. So the TV license was introduced by the BBC, which was I guess like our first channel,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the only channel that doesn't have advertisements. So you're paying essentially for the channel to be able to run because it doesn't generate income from adverts.
Really?
Yeah, that's why now there's a massive argument to be had here about, well, why are we paying for a TV license? Like, it's especially when the information on the BBC is not as impartial as it should be.
Right.
Like, it has an agenda. So it's like, why am I paying for something that is not impartial? And it's like, I want to say it's £120 a year or 170, something like that. But it's, yeah,
Wow.
you can buy a TV without it, but what a lot of people do is they have the TV and then they don't watch live shows, or
Mm-hmm.
they don't watch BBC, so they'll just watch something else, a different channel.
Right.
But there's an argument to be had that most channels, in order to get like your Sky or whatever, you still have to have BBC One, BBC Two, so there's no getting away from it. Those who are exempt completely is if you're just watching like movies.
What about
Like,
streaming? Does it affect streaming at all?
no, or Netflix. If you're just watching Netflix, if you're not watching anything to do with BBC,
Mm-hmm.
you shouldn't really have to pay for it.
I think I saw something that where it was like somebody was either Netflix or YouTube where the licensing was trying to affect one of those two platforms. That's not true.
I'm not sure. I've not heard of that.
Okay. It might have
I know
been
I
wrong.
know that they've tried to do their own thing here called BritBox, which is like, it's awful. It's horrendous. It's like a
Yeah,
version.
I've seen it. I've seen it. I have seen it. It's very interesting. It's interesting.
It's all like old school programs that no one cares about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got those pretty much infomercials here. That's like to have either a person or a product just come up and just, so today we're going to be talking about this ham. This ham is $45. Call right now and you can own a ham. Like, yeah, we have a lot of stuff like that. But that's
Yeah,
very interesting.
I've seen them. It's very like corny. Like, they try to make products seem like they're sent from heaven. They're so amazing. Like,
Like, yeah,
wow,
they're
how does
groundbreaking.
how does that work? It's like, chill out. It's just a vacuum cleaner.
Yes, yes. Or like a toaster. They're like, this toaster, not one, but two pieces of bread can go in this toaster. Like, what other toaster can do that?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then they
yeah.
charge you $50 for a toaster.
I know.
No,
I know.
it's terrible. I don't know why they would even think that that would be a
But
decent
but
idea.
there's like a massive thing, defund the BBC, stop the license. Like, I'll be interested to see if they cut TV license in the next 5 years.
Hmm. So you said how much is it a year?
Don't quote me on this. I'm gonna have to actually I should know this, right? Okay. TV license. Let's have a look. It is £159.
Mm, that's pretty decent. That's not bad.
No, but the argument is, what are we paying? Why are we paying? Go and get adverts so we don't have to.
Right. Yeah, they made that decision. So like shouldn't they have to like live with that? That's what I'm saying. But so since we're talking about the TV license, I was going into like laws. I just kind of combine this into one laws and things about your culture that you love and you don't like. I have three things I like, three and two things I don't like, trying to keep it more positive than negative.
Okay, go on.
First thing is job getting a job isn't that hard. As far as like we have a lot of programs that'll help you get something if you need. Like for me, I came straight out of school and I didn't know what to do. So I wanted to do maintenance because my friend was doing maintenance. So I was like, okay, cool. I want to go to school. They were like, okay, cool. Fill out this form. Filled out the form. All right, you're in for free. I'm like, whoa, okay. And then guaranteed me a job straight out of school. Now I know for other people it's not that simple, but specifically for me, it's really easy to find some type of program that'll either sponsor me or pay for or just get me the education or job that I need.
Okay, so that's like a law, is it, or legislation?
Right.
Okay, so two positive legislations that I like here is the Equality Act of 2010
Mm-hmm.
and the Homelessness Reduction Act of 2018. So it basically says, well, what it is on the tin. It was a drive to ensure that people could wouldn't have to suffer with so much homelessness or facing homelessness rather. And before the legislation, the government or local authorities only looked after women, or women with children, and men were kind of shut out. And I don't think that's fair because everyone needs to lay their head somewhere. It
Right.
doesn't make them any less like, because he's a man, he doesn't really need to live anywhere. It doesn't make any sense,
Yeah.
right?
People look at men and be like, nah, they'll be okay. It's a
They'll
man.
be fine. Yeah. But yeah, so I like that. I think it was needed, and I worked in housing for a long time, so it was very important to me. And then for the Equality Act, I don't know if you ever saw, but Zizi and myself, we took District Nightclub to court, which was like a very bougie club in Mayfair because they said our friends were too black to get in.
Oh wow.
And we used a piece of legislation that was called the Equality Act, that
Mm-hmm.
um, you're not supposed to treat people any differently based on their gender, um, their race, their religion, so on and so forth. So those are my two favorites. What ones don't I like? I don't like. It's so crazy because usually I'm complaining about loads of different legislation. I'm like,
I'll let you get that thought together.
I
I want to come back
I'd
to the
say the
homeless
COVID,
part. Hmm?
the COVID masks. I just think like there's too many things out there to prove. It just doesn't make sense. So I'm going to go with the COVID masks,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm also going to go with. I just think they're charging us too much for parking. Like you can put your car anywhere in London and you get a ticket for £70.
70
Yeah.
for parking.
No, so a ticket if you've parked incorrect, like if you're not parking in the right, you've overstayed your welcome, or like your
Right,
ticket.
but that's a lot. Even if it was just like, oh, I was kind of my tail end of my car was kind of out a little too far. Oh, now I gotta pay 70 pounds. Wow, that's
And it's how they generate money. I'll give you an example. Okay, so I used to take this shortcut to get to the main road. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
So I used to drive through this road every day. Anyway, so they put two flower pots in the road, and I thought, oh, that's nice. They're sprucing up the area.
Right.
Okay. So I was driving, and I swear to God, I got about 6 tickets, and I was like, "How the hell have I got 6 tickets, all amounting around £100?" Yeah,
Wow.
and it's because they had put a small camera in the foliage, like the flower beds that I was rating, to catch people out, and they put a sticker to say "Be careful of a camera," but you can't really see it until you've passed it.
Yeah.
Like I think they're doing too much in terms of, and I remember them all now. I hate congestion charge.
What is that?
So if you look at London, you have like London here, and it's surrounded by a big road called the M25
Hmm.
orbital. So you could get around the whole of London using this road. Then how London is set out is in zones. So you have zones 1 to 4. So depending on the zone, if you want to get the subway, we call it the underground, but you guys call it the subway,
Uh-huh.
is how expensive your ticket will be. So if you only get a ticket that covers zone like 4, 5, sorry, is zones 1 to 6, 4, 4, 5, and 6, it's not that expensive. But if you want to travel into zone 1, which is like the center of London, then it's more expensive. Congestion charge is if you drive into that center part, you have to pay an amount
Is it a lot?
just for, I think it's £25, £15,
I mean, that's
something.
more than it should be. It should be zero.
Yeah, and then they've added another one which is called ULEZ to help the climate. So if your car is, not ULEZ compatible or something, you have to pay an extra charge.
Sounds like it's time to get a bike.
It's very expensive to live in London.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Definitely sounds like it. Like, how is like housing? Like, is housing expensive?
Oh yes, so expensive. So like a 1 bedroom flat, like apartment in central London, can easily be like £3,000 a month.
For one bit?
That's central. That's central, like center of London.
Wow. Like, that's a lot. That's
Even more, could even be more. Yeah.
I didn't think I thought it'd be like at most like 2,000,
No,
maybe.
it could go depending on where. If it's Mayfair, it could be 8,000, 9,000.
What area? What is Mayfair like?
It's like one of the wealthiest parts of like central London.
Oh wow.
But
So
it's
you
hard
live in
anyway because
Mayfair?
for people that are trying to buy a house,
Mhm.
the average house price is over 300,000 in London. Yeah, they say around 4, I think now.
Oh, wow.
The banks will only lend you what's 4 times your salary. So how if
Hmm.
you're on 35,000 a year or 40,000 a year, that's nowhere near even 350,000. So how are you going to buy
Yeah,
this?
you're not gonna. So is there a lot of like? Is there a huge homeless population?
There is, but I'll be honest, this is one thing that is really good in the UK, and that's why probably lots of like refugees come here and migrants.
Hmm.
If you are struggling financially, you know what you guys will call the projects.
Hmm.
Our social housing, like the projects, is very nice. Like
Really?
they mix it with private like accommodation as well. So
Hmm.
there's not much difference between the spec of a property. So you can have like a brand new, almost that looks like a penthouse, which is like the projects. It's government housing.
Wow, that sounds nice. Here, I'm pretty sure it's no surprise that the homeless in America is like very high. The homeless population. I've seen that was one of the things on my list that I really hate. Like in New York, I saw this picture of they had I don't believe it. I don't remember if it was over the concrete or something, but they had basically they were making it impossible for homeless people to sleep anywhere. Like they had put spikes down on certain areas where somewhere could sleep, like bike racks. They had like made it slanted, and yeah, they made everything pretty much impossible just to survive for homeless people. And I was like, I don't understand why people would do that, but
Yeah.
everything is the money is the root. Honestly, that's where all the problems come from. So
Mhm.
I don't know. Anything else on your list?
No, those are the ones that I just hate and like.
Let me see. Okay, this is another good one. College. I don't like how college is pushed like that's the only way you can succeed. I'm not saying that you can't succeed while going to college. Like you obviously can make it while going to college. It's not as helpful as they make it seem, but it definitely is it's an option, but it's not your only option. That's kind of where I really don't like how they're like, no, you have to get good grades in school, you have to go to college, you have to come straight out of college and get great job. Where most people who ended up going to college end up doing something completely different because their field is oversaturated.
Mm. Yeah, I think here there's multiple ways. We have things called apprenticeships, we have
Hmm.
vocational courses, we have college, we have like going straight into work and then doing courses on the job. There's many options here, like loads.
Yeah. Do you get like assistance when it comes to like going to college and stuff like that?
Uh, do you know what? It's so stupid. Can you break down the ages of college? Because I think you guys call it differently to us. I'll tell you ours. So we have primary school here that starts at 5 years old and
Uh-huh.
goes up to 11. That's primary school. Then
Mhm.
we have secondary school, which is 11 years of age, depending on when your birthday is, 11 years of age to 16 or 15, 16. That's secondary school. Then we have college, which is 16 to 18. That's where you do your A levels. That's college.
That's
Then,
college.
yeah,
What if you decide not to do that?
yeah, so hang on, 16 to 18 is college. Then after you go to university at 18, 19 till you're like 22, 23.
Oh wow.
That's how it works here. What is age group is college and school?
Yeah, so college is like pretty much university. It's like soon as you get out of main school at 18, you go pretty much straight like,
Oh, so you're kept in main school till you're 18. We're not. Sometimes if it's like sixth form, yeah. But you
yeah.
can go to college here at 16.
Well, you I don't know, I'm pretty sure, but in the US you can go to college at any age, but most people don't make it until like they're 18. Like you could we have a lot of cases like people being like 6 and going to college. Like there's no real age thing, but most people
Mm.
only go like after 18. That's the norm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If you're really smart, you can pretty much do anything. Like you could start first grade at 2 months. Like I don't think that's happening, but like I mean it's possible. It's there if that's but yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Do you feel you got a good insight into
I
British
did.
culture?
I
Yeah.
did. I feel like I would like to come over to the UK and find out more.
If you do, hit me up.
Definitely, I will. I will make sure. I'm gonna need a tour guide.
Yeah, I could be that person.
I appreciate it because I'm definitely not gonna know where I'm going.
Yeah. Okay, well, when do you reckon that will be? In the next year or two?
Yeah, I'm actually trying to make plans. Sometime next year, hopefully around June, July.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, definitely come and we'll see if we can hit up a music spot and some food places.
Oh yes. I'm all for the food. I'm 100% all for the food.
Okay, cool.